What's up, everybody? Real with Omar. Today's special guest, you might see that we were sponsored by WAVA Water the other day. So finally, I brought the guy in who is the owner and creator of WAVA Water, Vincent DeGrezia. Vin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for coming here.
Appreciate it.
We've had a lot of conversations already, but I just want to dive in. So, all right, we were talking before we got on the show. Let's talk about it on the show. So, a lot of tattoos. When did we first start getting tattoos? I know we're going to start where you came from later, but since we were there already.
It's a good question. I don't know. It's got probably like 2005 or 6.
How old were you when you first got your first tattoo?
20s.
Yeah, I got my baby tattoo. This baby tattoo that was 16.
Right on.
Mike Tyson, like Mike had Mike.
Yeah,
so, that was a cool thing to do.
Yep.
I went, the owner of the Pine sent me to Joe and Sons in Mount Vernon. We're all in our tuxedo uniforms, a bunch of busboys and waiters getting tattoos. So that's how I got a tattoo. Anyway, when did you get your first one? Why was it? Did you, you have a whole sleeve.
Yeah. I got my first tattoo. It was this one here, which really,
person?
Yeah, it's Pink Floyd's Screaming Face. I was in a lot of rock bands when, through my youth.
Okay.
I got it.
You were actually in rock bands?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Many. I got it with one of my best friends, Gull, and he brought it you got this for me for my birthday. He's like, I got my birthday gift for you. We're going to get tattoos together. I'm like, dope. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. All right, cool. So that was your first one that you started. So the reason I talk about your tattoos, you have a real music rocker type vibe, right? And WAVA Water, which we'll get to, has a musical component that really kind of got my attention, right?
Yes.
But let's begin in the beginning. Originally born in the Catskills?
Yeah, I was born in the Catskills, raised in New York City, Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn. I was born in the Catskills. My father opened up his first restaurant in
the Catskills?
In the Catskills.
Okay.
In 1977 in Hensonville, which is right next to Windham Mountain. Okay. His first restaurant, it was called, not there anymore, Vesuvio.
Okay.
Had it for 4 years. So I lived up there from birth until 4, and then we moved back down. We lived in Queens for a while. Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn. And then we lived some time in Florida. My father is a restaurateur. He opened up restaurants in Florida, so we moved out there.
He would open them and operate them, or just open them?
He was an owner.
Okay, so he was an owner. And he was just going to different states and just, I'm doing it here.
Where opportunity presented
where
itself.
Where he saw there was a good opportunity.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
And what kind of restaurants?
All Italian.
All Italian restaurants. Okay.
Italian.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Florida, lived in Florida for 8th grade to second year of college.
Nice.
Second year of college started, I wanted to move back to New York. Moved back to New York, went to Baruch College, studied finance, got a BBA in finance from Baruch College, and stayed in Manhattan for 22 years.
So you thought you were going to be a business major, because Baruch is a business school, right?
Business school.
So that was the plan. Finance?
I don't know if that was a plan.
Okay. Well, you went to school for that, so you figured that's kind of where I was going.
If you're going to, if you're not exactly sure what you're going to do,
right.
I mean, why not? Finance is something you'll always use. You know what I mean? So I went to school for finance. I worked for Bear Stearns for a few years.
Was Ace Greenberg the head of Bear Stearns at the time, or that was before you? Oh, after you? That was it.
Yeah.
That was after. That was a meltdown. Ace Greenberg.
Right. So, and then quickly realized that wasn't my path. It wasn't for me. I went back and started working with my father in hospitality. I worked with him at one of our restaurants. It was called DeGrezia Restaurant. It's my last name. Worked there for 8 years and really dove in and learned the business from grassroots. I mean, I always worked with them as a child, but really out of college, I'm learning hospitality. I'm learning the restaurant business, the ins and outs, everything.
When you say hospitality, can you explain to people, because I try to explain, but I'm not a hospitality expert. Hospitality is based on experience, right? You want people to have an experience when they come to your place, not just eat food, because they can eat food at home.
Totally.
Right. So how do you break that down? Do you break that down first with furniture, with lighting, with can you give a little bit of insight into that? Just so people understand.
Into what hospitality is?
Yeah, hospitality. Because people think you open a restaurant and that's it. I cook well. Why aren't they coming in?
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Hospitality is not just restaurants. Hotels is hospitality.
Yeah.
Any kind of experience that you're offering a service and meeting or exceeding expectations is hospitality.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And that could be in retail, certain kind of retail stores, so it's not just restaurants. Hospitality is meeting or exceeding expectations and providing an experience to people.
I wanted you to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. No. People have to understand that I'm hosting you. What does hosting mean? Well, it means that I'm responsible for your experience of coming in. As a real estate broker, like when I come, I have closing. Sometimes I'll have the whole parking lot's cars washed while they're waiting because
That's cool.
Well, there you go.
I would
right?
appreciate that.
There you go. So no, but going back to experience, why do people go to Omar so much? Well, I make sure they have an experience, right? And it's not just a nickel and dime. Like, of course, making money is part of it, but also if I make you feel a certain way, money's kind of becomes just obsolete. They don't care. Some people will actually overpay because they want certain people involved in a transaction. I'm just going back to you. So like, people will drive by. I drive by other restaurants to go to certain restaurants because I like the way I feel when I'm there.
Sure.
I'm treated well, right?
Yep.
So it's a big thing. I want people to understand that because they feel like, oh, hospitality, oh, hotels, oh. No, it's kind of bigger than that. It's you're creating something, an experience. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sorry about cutting you off. All right. So you're 8 years in with Dad. You're learning about the hospitality.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you learn? What key things could you share? Because coming from Baruch, he probably thought you thought you were going business.
Yeah.
Right?
Key things, I mean, there's so much, right? So from culinary to beverage to guest hospitality, meeting and exceeding expectations, to decor, to lighting, to details.
Science. Yeah.
Right. Success is in the details. You know what I mean? It's never the big things. It's the small details that got to the big things.
Right.
Those were all the key components of what I learned with him.
Right.
Yeah.
And was he like an easy teacher, or was he like kind of like, you should know this already? Like, I'll give you an example. No,
Yeah.
I'm not making this up.
No, I get
I'm not trying to be funny with Dad.
Yeah.
I'm a father, right? And I have my sons. They have questions for me. Yes. So they're like, hey, Dad. I'm like, listen. And this is a real conversation I've had. You have to be qualified to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna start from, hey, this is how a mortgage is, like, go to school. Like I tell them, go to school.
Basics,
right. I get it. It's unfair to me to have to go all the way back to the beginning. I mean, you're intelligent. I want you to go to college so you have some understanding of the way things work. And then if you come to me with a real question because you've done some work, I'm with you.
Right.
But don't I can't spoon feed you. So my question to you is, was your dad kind of like you went to college, so he kind of respected that already, right?
Right. The things that he taught me, you're not learning in college. Okay. You know what I mean? You're not learning how to be a people person or how to interact, right? That's stuff you learn in real life on the fly. And that's a lot of the stuff that I've learned there,
right?
With him.
Right.
Of course, I would ask questions on, culinary, beverage, steps of service in the restaurant, of course.
Right.
But the real life stuff is just, you're in there.
I call it the hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Right? It's the hand-to-hand combat. You can't, it's theory or practice, right? You have to practice it. Right. Okay. So you're there a couple of years. I think you went to the Tao Hospital.
Not right away.
Okay.
I was always a musician also. So even when I was working with my father, I was still a musician. I was involved in some recording studios that I was partners in, had bands, stuff like that. And then when I left, I continued to do hospitality and music. It wasn't until a couple years later, I think I was like 34 or 33 when I started working for Tao Group.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to work for Tao Group Beauty in Essex, which is in the Lower East Side.
Right. Which is a very cool vibe.
Very
there, right?
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rock and roll.
Right. Now, were you performing? And you said music, kind of skipped over. You recording, so you're a performer, you're a singer, you're a guitarist,
guitar player, songwriter, performer.
Okay, just I want people to understand.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Okay.
And then when I started working for Tao Group, I worked for them for 9 years. That's really when I really got my high level education on volume restaurateuring, hospitality, nightlife, etc.
Okay.
So I started working for them. I was at Beauty and Essex for 6 years. I started there just as a maitre d' floor manager. And then within the first year and a half, I was promoted to assistant general manager, AGM.
Okay.
And then about another year after that, I would say I was promoted to general manager.
I don't mean to slow you down. Floor manager or maitre d', you're engaging with the public.
Totally.
Right?
Absolutely.
So then you go into assistant manager.
Assistant general manager.
Assistant general. So what's the difference? Just I want to walk people through it so they understand.
Totally. Assistant general manager, you're basically learning how to be a general manager, right? So then you have the managers and the employees that you're also managing.
So now you're going from just going to the public facing. Now you're dealing with your human capital people.
Totally. Employees.
You're trying to give them experiential theory, like this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Losses, yeah.
Right. Okay. So
exactly.
How does that translate? Like what's training for that? To me, the hardest thing is to manage humans. That's a hard thing for me personally, right? I have a small team, but it's hard to do. So how do you do that in a way where you don't lose your cool?
How do you learn to do that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually, I think, like we said, like you have to go through those experiences to learn how to be a people person or be able to deal with the human interaction.
Yeah.
If, you're in a position of, an elevated, your job description is a little more elevated than there, you have to manage them.
Correct.
But it's also not for everybody. Not everyone could manage people.
Yeah,
right?
It's a hard thing. And I mentioned that only because like people think, I want to manage everything. I want to be CEO. I'm like, bro, that's not always easy. It's not always fun either.
No.
Right.
No. When you're a manager at a certain level, AGM, general manager, director, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with people, interactions, and, you have to create a culture and a high level goal that everyone's working towards and believes in.
Vision, right.
And you got to be authentic, but real authentic. You got to believe what you're saying for them to believe in you.
Correct.
Right. It all comes down to authenticity. And life will teach you that, for you to have the confidence, life's going to teach you that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's before, we're going to get to COVID in a minute, but hospitality, nightlife, sports arenas, all that shit. I remember, and I mentioned this to really illustrate this part. I used to have floor tickets at the Nets, at the Barclays, right? I'm a big basketball back. And I remember you hearing about COVID in China, right? You hear about it. And we were at the game. I believe New York shut down on a Monday or something like that.
Yeah. So you're like a week or two out.
Yeah. So, right. So it's Sunday. And they're talking about COVID. And I'm like, I'm in the arena. I'm in the Barclays with my wife. I'm like, all these fucking people, talking about this, like shutting down China. So I was like, everything looks kind of, like normal.
Here.
Right.
I remember too.
A day or two later, stay in your house. I was like, what the fuck? So
crazy time.
Right. So you're in the hospitality business. That's one of the biggest hit industries.
Totally.
Right. So how does that work? Tell me a little bit about that front lines with you.
Yeah. So we got the word from the top that we're shutting down, even though they weren't requiring everyone to shut down yet. This is right before they were
right.
It was like you have to.
Right. Before it gets mandated. Right.
And the top on the way down was like, okay, we're closing down. Everyone go home. And we're just like, what are you talking
about? What are we doing? Right.
Quiet. And, I forget how long it was that until we were able to reopen up or just serve outside and then able to serve inside.
Some sort of variation.
I forget the timeline was wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The timeline was really wild. You forget because you're indoors for so long. And, there was a period that we were all home. And then there was a period that, okay, we don't know when we're reopening up. We have to start
laying people
off.
Yeah.
That, once we reopen, we'll do the rehires.
Right.
And then, we got to make like 50, 60 phone calls, like me and my general man. I was a director of operations for the hotel site at the time when COVID happened.
Okay.
So I was now at the Moxie East Village where we opened up Cathedral, Ready Rooftop, ABC Lounge. And
all really cool places.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I recommend them. And then, we had to get on the phone and we had to call all these, all of our employees. And
there you go.
So it was a wild time. And then, we were on calls every other day with the rest of the company, keeping the ball moving, figuring out how we could make some,
some variation,
still make money
right.
to go, whatever. And I forget how long that was. I mean, I don't know if you remember. Was that like 3 or 4 months?
At least months. I remember.
So we were able to do outdoor dining.
Right. That was that part. So then you had, And it's been years, so I can talk about it. So you had the speakeasies. I mean, that was still happening. I don't know if you want to talk about that. I don't know.
I don't know anything.
In the Bronx, they were still happening.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there was some places you could go, which was cool.
Yeah.
There was free money.
You could do it in certain.
There was free money everywhere, right? Everybody, you didn't have to go to work. We're paying you anyway. So there was proliferation of money. Good friends of mine were making a killing in the liquor industry. Takeout, like liquor stores. Killing it.
You were already capitalizing on takeout. You were going to the roof, man.
It, bro, killing it, right? And then I have other friends of mine who had large restaurants that didn't pivot. Like their main thing was hosting experience. Like big dining halls, Italian restaurants.
Right.
They were hurt. They were really hurt.
Right.
Yeah,
and then the government was able to help at certain levels to certain companies, which was great, which was very necessary. And then we started reopening up all of the venues.
Right.
And
but
outdoor
forget reopening that you're allowed to, but then you have to go after the whole culture shock, because people were then scared to come out. Right. They were like, oh, it's kind of like some people wanted to come out, but some people didn't want to come out.
Some people didn't want to.
Yeah.
It was a weird time.
In the beginning, do you remember people scrubbing their groceries? Like, that's how crazy it was.
It was a wild time.
Yeah.
Man. Wearing masks.
Yeah.
Wearing gloves. Keeping the distance. What was it? The 3 feet. Keeping
6
3
feet.
feet distance.
6 feet.
6 feet.
It was 6
I
feet.
forget.
It's 6 feet only in front though, and the size you were.
I forget. It was wild.
Yeah.
And doing that, interacting, creating an experience, opening up the restaurants, just traveling on subways. It was wild.
Yeah,
it was wild. And then the whole, it was, you could take your mask off, but only you're sitting down, and then you have to manage that. Yeah. And especially in
you can always take your mask off when you're eating.
Yeah, when you're sitting down and trying to manage that, like it was wild. It was a wild time. Wow, we got through it though.
It was wild. It was
a wild time.
So during this time of reopening is when you get the idea.
Yeah. So all right. So I'll give you this story.
Yeah.
So we were reopening. It was summertime. I can't forget the month, but I remember it was outdoor dining, and it was hot out, minimal staff, long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drinking, my GM, my partner, we were crushing just iced coffees, black iced coffees. I don't drink, or at least I try not to, very rarely, if ever, soda or energy drinks.
Okay.
I'm somewhat health conscious. Mm-hmm. I pay attention to what I put into my body.
Right.
Nothing over.
We know about all the chemicals.
Yep.
And since you're talking about that, I'm going to have my first can. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's crack one.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Salute. Cheers, bro. Salute.
Yeah.
So you're crushing black iced coffees.
Right. Health conscious. Tend not to drink sodas or energy drinks.
Right.
So one day I finished my iced coffee. I put it down. Still ice in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot out. It's also hot inside. I go back to my iced coffee. The ice is melted. It's just water at this point with the remnants of coffee flavor.
Right.
And I start drinking because I'm thirsty. Light bulb goes off in my head. I walk over to the bar. I put a little bit of soda water into it and squeeze some lemon. And I'm like, a lightly caffeinated sparkling water. I'm like, it has to exist because I would drink these all day.
Right.
I start some research. I do some R&D on the space. Do a few months of research. And I see a hole in the space. No one is really doing something that's health forward, that is lightly caffeinated, not overly caffeinated, and is really simple, plain ingredients. Simple. And I just got, it was just this intuition. Like I couldn't even, it's hard to describe, and I couldn't fight it if I wanted to. I just had this idea. So then I got to work. I started putting together this business plan, this ideology of what I wanted to do, doing little concoctions at home with the soda stream, what I mean?
Yeah.
Tinctures and stuff. And then I go to my wife, who was my fiance at the time, Alexis, and she's in marketing. She has a marketing background. She worked on the global marketing team for Le Pont Quotidien, LPQ, for a number of years.
Okay.
And I go to her and I'm like, hey, I have this idea. I really want to go for it. What do you think of this? So I pitched her the idea, and she's like, oh, awesome. That sounds really cool. I'm like, well, you do it with me. You got the marketing background. I got ops. We can figure it out. She's like, sure. I'm like, the caveat is there's no way that we could really give this a go, build this business
Well, we're
while she was laid off at the time. She was just laid off because of COVID. While I'm working, 12 plus hours.
right. I want to give it our full attention.
It's impossible.
Right.
It's impossible. So I come up with this idea. We have a family house up in the Catskills. We've had a family house in the Catskills since the 60s. My grandparents always had
Okay.
property up there.
There's always a place there. Okay.
There was a place.
Right.
We have this house no one's using. I'm like, we can move up there, cut our expenses by 75%,
Wow.
and focus on building the business. Massive risk, but why the hell not? You know what I mean?
Especially after coming out of COVID, where you thought the world worked a certain way,
Yeah.
right? And everything just changed.
Yeah. It was like, it was one of those things that intuitively I knew I wanted to do it and I couldn't fight it if I wanted to. That's how I knew
Cool.
I had to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to do it. And, I spoke to a lot of friends of mine, mentors, and one of my dear friends and a mentor of mine, I spoke to him about it. I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I don't know anything about the space, but I'll tell you this in life. He's like, at the end of your day, you never want to look back and say, what if?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, okay.
You're like, that's it.
I'm like,
I'm in.
all right. I'm like,
I quit.
I'm like, I already had in my head that, I was going to do it. But like, once I heard that, I'm like, that's what life is, taking risks where you can.
Calculated risks.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, I was looking for something like this. I was just always looking for like a draw, something to sink my teeth into, something that I really wanted, something I wanted to build. And when this came into my focal, I was like, let's go for it.
Okay. So how is it? Well, obviously I know the answer, but I want to kind of illustrate it. So the music and the water, obviously musical background, right?
Yeah.
But also the word I use a lot is vibe, right? So music can help change your frequency, I believe. You're a musician, 100%. So yeah, so that's where I'm going with it. So so you having the water with theanine, if that's the right way to say it, and being able to curate music to people that are purists.
Yeah.
What made that make so much sense to you? Besides you having the music background,
so
obviously.
The idea of WAVA, the beverage and the music came at different times.
Okay.
Right. So it was the beverage first.
Right.
Started the beverage. And then once we really started building the brand, we were doing the designs. Right. We were doing design.
And they're very sleek, very sexy.
Very sleek. We had a great brand designer. We came up with the waves. And while we were going through designs, another epiphany, I was like, brainwaves.
Yeah.
Then I, dove into a deep rabbit hole into brainwaves and came across something called binaural beats. Binaural beats, simply explained, are sound frequencies that activate brainwaves to get you into desired mind states.
There you go. Okay.
And there have been studies that have shown that it can work and it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then I dove into the different types of binaural beats that were embedded into different types of music. And I was like, this is for something really cool and something that we could also do to help.
And very unique.
Very unique.
Yeah.
But because, the ideology of WAVA Water, the caffeine and the L-theanine, is to increase cognition, focus. And then when you tap on sound frequencies that can activate brain waves,
right.
Focus, creativity, inspiration, cognition. You have, now we're creating not just a beverage, we're creating a lifestyle brand.
Absolutely.
Of music and a great beverage to help increase creativity and focus, So that was a whole other thing that we started, and I jumped into that.
That was just like a vein off the main tree.
That was a vein.
Yeah.
And we have about 5 albums right now where we come out with new music. So
who's curious? Is it your original?
Me, I have partners.
Okay.
We just started working with other influential artists that we co-brand together, and they write music with the binaural beats. You know what I mean? And then, it helps with building brand awareness.
Yeah.
So, we're just starting really getting this going, putting this on other playlists, music playlists within different platforms to really get it out there.
Right.
So it's at its infant stage, but we do have some music out there, with like 5 albums,
Nice.
activating different brainwaves, different genres of music. We've done an R&B album, all instrumental. We've done a lo-fi summertime beats album. We've done a ambient house album, meditative album.
So something for everybody, right?
Yeah, we just create music, really good, cool music, instrumental, with the binaural beats embedded into it. And there's a science behind it, and there's things you have to do, like you have to wear headphones, you have to listen for at least 10 minutes for it to actually work. That's the science.
So there's a science behind it, right? Okay.
Behind it. Yeah. So that's how that all came to play.
So that was your brainchild.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's why I wanted to talk about it. So WAVA, where do you find it most of the time? Because I was messing with you a little bit before, like you're only in cool places.
Correct.
So how'd that happen? Like, is that on purpose, or is it based upon the relationships you've had already?
Yeah. So when we like officially said we're available online for purchase, and
When was that? So people have
last April, almost
April
a year ago.
2024. All right, so a year. It's only been out for you.
That's it. And I wouldn't even call it like an official launch. It's just we're available.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
We did a run, 30,000 cans. We're available.
Okay.
We have a warehouse, and we started with our network, lowest hanging fruit, wellness, hospitality, bars, gyms, things of that nature, hotel rooftops, grab and goes, stuff like that. No
Cool places.
Cool places. And, we felt we created a product that, number one, fits well into hospitality and wellness, but also it's a great option if you're not drinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole sober curious movement is a real thing.
Is it? Well, I don't even know what that is. What is that?
People are just not drinking as much anymore.
Yeah, I haven't had a drink in about 6-7 months. My wife hasn't had a drink in 2 years.
Yeah.
And this is going back. Remember, this is a guy who had I had a liquor store.
Right.
And a nightclub. So
Yeah.
I know the deal. Yeah.
It's not changing. You know what I mean? So that's why you see all of these non-alc beverages coming.
Now there's something called caffeine culture. I don't know if you've seen that. They're doing like little pop-ups at coffee shops.
Oh, cool.
And it's just coffee and stuff like that.
Right on.
Not no alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, based on that, we knew that we had a great product for hotels, rooftops, grab and goes, bars, restaurants, because it's tasty, it's light, it's refreshing, and has a little bit of caffeine. So it gives you a little bit of boost, but not too much.
Not too crazy. No crash either.
No crash.
Right.
And, the combination of the L-theanine with the caffeine is the no crash. And it's a nice, cool, even increased focus and cognition.
Right.
So where were we?
You were talking about that the movement and non-drinking movement.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I wanted to break into that
yeah,
because that's a big thing now. That's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
Now people talk about depression.
And it's
now
still
people
a big thing, man.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm getting calls from all these great hotels, these rooftops, because they've heard about the product, they tasted the product, and they would do amazing in the rooftops.
Right.
And which it does.
Well, they have to find also a substitute, right? Because they don't want people to not be social.
Totally.
Right? That becomes the thing, right? Because alcohol, and forgive me, kids, if I say this, alcohol was used as a way to increase social interaction because it lowers inhibition.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying people don't have insecurity issues. I'm not saying that at all. But I also am saying that it shouldn't be something you're dependent on to be your best self. Like that becomes almost a contra because you're almost creating a crutch or a dependency on a product, right? So I'm kind of talking big picture right now.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand that.
Yeah.
It's not a hate on it. If you drink, that's all cool. But I used to sell it, so I kind of understand it. I've seen the ugly part of it too, right? Having a nightclub, I used to like, dealing with alcohol, dealing with inebriated people is not easy, especially when you're not, right? You're like, and you have to be even, and we've all have those stories of ourselves when we're our best versions of ourselves while we're drinking. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to talk about that because it's important, because I think people are becoming, humanity is becoming more aware of not needing certain things, but still wanting to have other things like being social, right? But like, let me have a drink. Remember that? Like that used to be the thing. You go to the bar, just have a drink. Why? Because I want to loosen up.
Yeah, it's just a part of our culture.
It became right.
I mean,
look.
Part of our culture.
So with cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
We watched Mad Men back in the 70s. It was different. It was very, and hopefully, I think we're evolving, but it's something we have to be aware of, right? Like we have to be able to talk about it without any issues.
100%.
Yeah.
It's not as, to come into work a little hungover is not as socially accepted as it used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It was fine back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to, so we started with the lowest hanging fruit, our network, and we did very well. We didn't touch retail until maybe like 8 months in.
Is that on purpose or just basically just
we were figuring out
as you went
movement.
Okay.
Like I don't come from the beverage world. I come from the restaurant, hospitality, entertainment world. But I know beverage people, right? So it was a lot of knocking on doors. It was a lot of asking for help, and it was a lot of education.
Okay.
Very steep learning curve. And then we were able to start getting into retail a little bit, learning the retail world, which is a completely different world from
hospitality world. Yeah.
Night and day.
Yeah.
Now we're about 6 months into retail, and we're starting to make some moves. We just brought on a sales team, a distributor, head of sales, demo team.
So, so you're really you're deploying activations.
Now we have the team to actually make the push for the next 9 months, 6 to 9 months, because now it's coming into summer. This is our season.
This is where you want
This is where we prove our concept. This is where we make moves.
Okay.
So everything is really being pushed right now, our summer season. Looking to be into anywhere between 100 and 150 stores within the next 9 months.
Nice.
Within New York City and the boroughs, maybe a little bit out of that. And then if all goes well, start moving markets by next winter. Slowly. But yeah.
What about, so you're in Brooklyn already because I guess of the relationships you've had, right? So do you have target demographics off the top of where you want your product to be, or you just want everybody to kind of know it, like it, love it, taste it?
I don't want everyone to know it, like it, love it, taste it, but we position ourselves as an elevated beverage and for health forward individuals.
Right.
There's a whole thing about a clean label trend. People are looking.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. People are looking at the back of the cans now. People are looking at the nutritional value.
Yeah.
People are looking at the ingredients.
Yes.
We have 5 ingredients or less. Some other energy drinks have 20.
Will remain nameless.
You had 20 plus.
Right.
And you can't even read it
and you don't know what they are.
Or know what it is.
Right.
Clean label trend. And that's a real thing that's not going away. It's about individuals becoming more aware of what you're putting into your bodies and what you want and what you need for yourself.
Right.
So that's a big thing for us also. So, we want to be in places where individuals are of that mindset, wherever that may be.
Right.
So we're going to be in places that doesn't have that demographic, and we won't do well there.
Right.
And we'll see that very quickly. And then we'll be in places that demographic does shop there, and we'll do well there. And then we'll know that's, you know what I mean?
That's where you should be.
Yeah, and we're doing demos in all these places as well, demoing very hard. We have our team, we set up our tables, we give samples, we talk about the beverage, and we see the interaction.
Okay. Do you do like, if they have social hour rooftops, that's what you're trying to do?
We do that too.
Are you doing, what do you call it, like Whole Foods? Are you doing?
We're applied for Whole Foods, hopefully to get into Whole Foods by end of Q3.
Okay. So where do you see the most proliferation right now? Like, I mean, everything you're saying are people that I interact with all the time. So I'm like, okay, I see it. And like I told you, when you told me, oh, you could check out where you can get my can, I said, yo, you missed all of Westchester and the Bronx. I was like, that's a big miss, because Westchester especially, I think it's forward. Yeah.
For sure. Baby steps. We're just, we're not biting off more than we could chew right now. We're sticking where the highest population, where we are the most. Our distributor works there, and we're going to slowly work north.
Are there any people that you feel that sometimes apply to sell your product that you're not interested in selling? Like, are nightclubs selling WAVA?
I have a couple.
Yeah?
I have a couple.
Okay.
We don't push too hard there, only because there's a barrier to entry.
Yeah?
Into nightclubs.
Is that the alcohol industry?
Other competed brands.
Okay.
Beverages, caffeinated beverages. Some of them control certain spaces.
Okay. Good to know. I mean, it's business.
Barrier to entry.
Right.
Entry.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're not there yet, but some of them that barrier is not there. We get in. It's a great.
What about health food stores?
Yeah.
I think I mentioned Green Life. Mark, I'm going to send this to you. Mark from Green Life. I think I told you about the restaurant, the Pine in the Bronx. He's health conscious.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people. I don't know if enough people know about the product, like having something like this to offer and knowing how to package it and market it correctly to your potential clients, right? That becomes the thing. Like, it could be it doesn't have to be this or that. It can be this and that. And I think that's the part where people kind of, I mean, business is one thing, competition is another. But they can live independently and not take away from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and the truth of the matter is that if it's a healthier version to somebody who cares about that.
Sure.
You know, because there's places, me and my wife, sometimes we go and we don't have anything. We have water. Why? Because there's nothing. There's regular Red Bull. There's regular, and we're like, nah, we don't want that. Like, you don't want that in our body. And it's a decision. But I say this to say to proprietors, like, yo, man, like, if you have discerning clients that make money, they're going to be strong-willed enough to say, nah, you know, I'm just going to pass, right? And then you really lose, because now all of a sudden you're kind of dissuading people from even coming to your spot.
Right.
Like, you don't have things to host them or to give them an experience.
Yep.
Going back to full circle to what we were talking about before, like, you have to have what the clients need or prospects need to have a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that, you're going to lose. And you might get them the 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
Or if they have to go because a friend is having an event, or, you know what I'm saying? But you won't have somebody who's consciously going to your spot on purpose because you're serving them. You're serving them what they want, right? What would you tell people, like, if they want to get WAVA? Will they hit you on a DM? Like, how's it, like,
No, I mean,
go to the stores, obviously,
They're
right?
available online for purchase.
Okay.
Free shipping.
That's a big thing.
Nationwide.
That's a big thing.
You know, if it's local, you get it within a day or two.
Yeah.
You know, of course, if it's on the other side of the country, maybe 5 days or so. But we're available online through our website. And then if you go to our website as well, there's a Find Us tab at the top, and it shows every single retail store that we were in where you could go and purchase as well.
How do you feel now that you're on this side of it, right? Because you went from hospitality. Now you're trying to figure out how to get a product to people that are they might not know they need it or want it. How do you break that? Like,
or might not even know it exists.
Yeah, what marketing marketing techniques are you?
So it's through, especially in retail, demoing heavy is very important.
Okay.
Demoing very heavy, because that's a direct ROI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interacting with the people that shop there,
right,
numerous times a week,
right,
letting them know that we exist, making sure we're on shelf and a good area for people to see, in an area that they might be looking for something like this, maybe in the sparkling water section,
right?
You know, maybe not necessarily in the energy drink section,
correct?
Because people looking for Red Bull, they're looking for Red Bull.
Correct.
We're not looking for a lightly caffeinated sparkling water,
right?
But people that are looking for a sparkling water might be interested in a lightly caffeinated sparkling water. Making sure that we could possibly be eye level, nothing down on low, so people could see it right away. Making sure that we have the proper representation of a shelf talker that says WAVA Water, lightly caffeinated sparkling waters, gives out all the pointers of, 45 milligrams, etc.
Right.
So grabs people's eyes, stuff like that.
Are you having marketing meetings constantly about this stuff like this?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
No, but do you actually have to go, like, you do site inspections?
Of course.
You do?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a place where, like, they're not doing what you're asking them to do?
Of course.
And how does that? Walk me through that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because, like, everybody thinks it's easy. Oh, I just got this. They put it out. Put some markers on it. We're done.
If you're selling well, it's easier to have those conversations. If you're not selling well, it's like, what comes first, the horse or the cart? You know what I mean?
Right. Why are we not selling? Well, where is it?
Well, where is it? It's in the lower right. No one's going to see it there. There's no shelf talker.
Right.
And then, it's easier. Now we have a distributor, we have a sales team that have these relationships.
Okay.
They have these relationships already.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to get a good shelf placement, making sure that we get, this is their job,
right.
Making sure that we get good shelf placement.
Good placement.
Making sure that we have the shelf talker, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing it myself, I'm still meeting these people, learning.
Right. There's no relationship.
There's no relationship yet,
and the truth of the matter is they don't know how long you're going to be around. In the beginning, right? They're like, oh, it's like every 10 days.
It comes down to they let me or not.
Right.
Right. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to in store. And then, of course, making sure you're doing your social media, making sure that you're doing your boosts in targeted geographical areas, hitting certain demographics as much as possible. stuff like that.
And is that every month or every 90 days? What's your cycle in terms of feedback? Like when I do, like I'll do, if I do a marketing campaign for something in particular,
30 days.
I'll have a 30, 45 day cycle, right? I'll be like, did this work? Do I see anything? Have I gotten any direct feedback for it?
We're like, we started with a new media company 2 months ago. So this month would be the first real month of putting out content.
Okay.
So we'll go back in the next 15 days or so, look at the analytics, see how we did organically, which ones did well that we'll start boosting, potentially doing some paid ads, stuff like that.
Okay.
And we'll see. But yeah, 30 days. 30
days, you cycle it. Now, do you have any sports in particular that you would associate your drink with? That's a random question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it could be any sport because, again, it's for the mindset of a health conscious individual.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So it could be anything from yoga. I know yoga's not a sport, but like yoga
is a sport. Yoga's hot yoga is hard.
I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm sure it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But I think it could be for any sport. It's about the individual and the mindset of what they want to put into their bodies.
Who's the major consumer of WAVA Water right now? Can you
demographically?
Yeah.
Male females is kind of even keel.
Okay.
I would say 28 to 42.
Okay. Yeah. 28 to 42.
That's the highest. Not that there's the others.
No. And then single, married, any of that? You don't have any of that data?
We don't have that data.
Okay. No. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's good to know. Yeah. It's good to know. Like, in my industry, it's from legally you can get a mortgage or real estate after 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
But usually people are in their upper 20s if they're getting help from their parents, upper 30s if they're on their own, right? Because they have to get coached. They have to understand, this is how it works, stuff like that.
What's going on?
Financial literacy is a big deal, especially if you come from a family of, let's say, blue-collar workers.
Sure.
They don't know how to do stuff. Like, education is a big deal into it. So I'm just giving you my feedback on that. So I just want to know on your side if you saw any of that, and if you did, if you found anything, like, is there a demographic that you found kind of weird that drinks it or no?
No.
Everybody's just straight up?
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to the two things. It comes down to flavor profile and it comes down to what the beverage actually is and if you're a health conscious individual.
Are there plans for other flavors?
Yeah. Right now we're working on just a natural spring water, sparkling water.
Just straight up water?
Just sparkling water.
Okay.
With the added benefits.
Okay.
Really clean, simple. Would be great for hospitality as well. But sometimes people just want a sparkling water. It doesn't always have to be flavored.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our whole thing is classic flavoring. We do classic flavoring. Lemon ice, classic flavoring. Orange vanilla, classic flavoring.
Right. Nothing too sweet, nothing too, right. Just subtle.
No sweetness.
Right. Just subtle. It's very subtle taste.
Like we're sparkling water with added benefits. Sparkling waters don't have sweeteners.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? We're not a soda. We're not an energy drink. And we really define ourselves when people are like, oh, there's no sweetener. It's a sparkling water. There's not
supposed to be sweetener.
Yeah.
It's not Celsius.
It's not.
Am I saying all the names I'm not supposed to say?
Energy drink. It's not an energy drink.
Right.
It's more of like a focused beverage for that midday pick-me-up. Say if you're at work, you don't want another cup of coffee. You're certainly not drinking a Red Bull, because you might get too caffeinated.
And jittery.
Those are high-performance drinks.
Listen, I'm not slandering they're not your competitors, just other people in the market. But having too much of any of those drinks leads to a lot of weird shit in your body. Just FYI. We won't go into it, but I've had people like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, bro, I think you're drinking too much Red Bull. Like, very, very simple. Or I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, I think you're having too much. Like, it's very easy to deduce when you see your friends' habits every day. Like, bro, how about you just drink some regular water?
Yeah, I know it's true. I mean, there's definitely a limit on the amount of caffeine that you should be intaking within the day.
Right.
I think it's something like 350 milligrams is probably where you should be capping off on caffeine within the day.
Right.
Something around
and that's just having a regular day. Like, it gets more niche-y as, like, you have guys do high performance shit. Like, you're working out heavy, like, you do like you got to
boost.
Yeah, rehydrate. Well, then you got to rehydrate also. Like, that becomes the thing. Oh, why am I not getting big? Well, you're not eating enough. It's very It's simple when you break it down, but it's hard to I use this term a lot, civilian, who says, oh, I want to do that. I'm like, well, you got to do this every day.
Yeah. That's
crazy. I was like, if you think it's crazy, it's not for you. It's very, like, no offense. Like, you don't want it bad enough. You know when you're going to want it? And this is a conversation I've had many times. When your doctor tells you have a health issue, Then
Then
all of
you're
a sudden,
gonna
then
need
all of
to
a sudden, all the years, no bread, no pasta, that's
No
fine, that's
problem.
fine. But beginning, no, I can never do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so true.
Until it becomes a necessity, then all of a sudden your mindset shifts, right?
Mhm.
Because the doctor told you. We were having a conversation last night, and even doctors aren't perfect either. Like, I tell my friends, I'm like, yo, take a look at who you're getting the advice from. Like, I had a doctor one time tell me something, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, bro, you're in no way, shape, or form anything I want to look like or be like. So I was like, I'm just gonna just ignore that. I'm just, like, oh, you shouldn't do that or whatever, deadlifting, whatever the concept. I was like, okay, like, you just take it like, you take it like just.
And everybody's body's different.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I know when I need to start cutting out flour and grain from my.
Well, because you're self-aware too.
Highly.
Right.
So like right now I just started a few days ago, no flour or wheat, gluten for the next, let's say 3 weeks.
Do you have Ezekiel bread?
I don't.
You don't have Ezekiel bread? It's a big thing. You should check it
Is
out. Yeah, we don't have regular bread. We have Ezekiel bread.
Cool.
It's frozen. It's good. It's no flour.
Yeah, because I know when I eat too much of it on a consistent basis, how it affects my weight, how it affects how I feel, how it affects my energy, and then like I'll get an epiphany, like, I got to cut it out for a while,
Right.
And then once I cut it out, within 2 days,
You feel better.
I feel slimmer. My stomach is flatter. I have the energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as you get older, you get to learn your body also.
Well,
What
that
works and what doesn't work.
Also, if you pay attention, right?
Right.
Because some people are, I don't understand why. I'm like, bro, it's very simple. It's right in front of you. You're eating this all day. He's like, oh, you think so? I'm like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And my favorite things are pizza, pasta. I grew up on that stuff.
course.
Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like I could take a pie down by myself. Easy. It's my favorite thing in the world is pizza. Good pizza. Nothing tops it for me. You know? So for me to cut it out, I gotta really
You gotta know
I gotta really want it, and be like, okay.
What about like cauliflower pizza substitute, stuff like that? Have you tried that?
Sure, but
Yeah, but it's not. Sure, I could live like that, but who wants to?
Yeah, I'll survive. Yeah.
Okay. So the music has to be listened to for at least 10 minutes on headphones.
Mm-hmm. That's the science behind it.
The drink is simply to help increase your focus.
Yeah.
And the mission is simply being transparent in terms of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, high level, WAVA Water is the first beverage and sound experience, using a lightly caffeinated sparkling water and music to help increase our creativity and focus. So the creativity part comes from the music. The focus comes from the music and the beverage. So we have so I'll give you super high level again on the binaural beats and brainwaves.
Okay.
Different brainwaves happening in our minds all the time. So the alpha brainwave is when they say you're in your flow state.
Yes.
Alpha brainwave.
Things are moving easily. Everything's quick.
Alpha brainwave.
Yeah, you're like
is the most predominant
in
the mind at that point.
Your mind is sharp.
Right. So there are binaural beats that could activate that brainwave, the alpha brainwave, and that's where you could be your most creative. So that's why we say to help increase our creativity and our focus, because if you listen to our tracks that activate the alpha brainwave, you could help increase your creativity and your cognition and your focus and inspiration, amongst many other things.
Wow. That is very high level. Do you ever have conversations that kind of goes over people's heads? I can see that.
I keep it real. I try to keep it simple.
I keep it real simple.
I
bring it down.
Yeah, because you don't need to go into it all. You know what I mean? If you want to do your research, you could go online. You could do your research. You could do your deep dives into binaural beats. You could do your deep dives into brain waves, activating different brain waves.
Right.
Different mind states for different brain waves.
Mm-hmm.
We keep it simple.
Okay. Well, you keep it digestible, right? Because if you get too far away on a topic, you just lose somebody. Mm-hmm. It's like being in class, right? You go to class, your teacher starts talking a certain way, you're like, yeah, I'm out.
And we also like to create music that's enjoyable to listen to. So if you want to put it on your speaker while you're just hanging out, put it on your speaker and you listen to it, and it's enjoyable to listen to. You don't necessarily need to listen to it to get the science.
Right.
Because music still changes your mood.
Yeah.
Without
absolutely
the binaural beats,
Yeah. This might be a high level conversation for some people, but I do want people to understand that little things that we're talking about right now, they're not just because of WAVA. It's just little hacks in life, right? Like you're not having a good day, switch a song. Change it changes everything, right? It can change you. Like I want to say that only because I see so much. I see it more and more. Right? Everybody's like looking for that answer, and there's answers everywhere. You just got to really look and be in tune, right? And I use that word on purpose, in tune. Music, frequency, vibration, all that's intersecting, man. All that's intersecting. People, they find a way to kind of separate it and compartmentalize it. And what they don't understand is it kind of all works together, right? You said flow state. I knew exactly what you're talking about, whether it be using your flow state when you're doing business, flow state when you're playing a sport, when it's
You're just in, you're locked
right.
in.
Things are moving nicely
Easy for you, right?
Right.
Flow state.
Right. Well, I just want people to understand that.
You kind of, and like we're talking intuitively right now, but like when you're in your flow state, you kind of just lose all thought of what you're doing or the mechanics
You're just
of
moving.
what you're doing.
Right.
Right.
You're just moving.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In your flow state. I love it, man. Listen, Vin, where could people get you if they need you? Please speak to the camera. What's your best social media handles that you want people to contact you on?
Yeah. If you want to contact me directly, you can always just go onto our social media, onto WAVA Water. Very simple. You could also send me an email through our website. And if you want to find WAVA on our website, there's a Find Us tab. Click that, show all the stores we're in. And you could also buy us online, direct to consumer. We'll get it to you locally within 2 days for shipping.
You got Vin, you got me. Ask Louis Omar everywhere. I drink it. I drink it a little too much right now, but it's all good. That's kind of like my personality. When I find something I like, I just go for it.
I love that.
Like, and I thank you for being on the show.
Oh yeah.
And just so everybody knows, it was organic. I reached out to him. I said, look, I saw you on Dave's show. Shout out to Dave. I dig the music. I dig the water. Where can I get it? It kind of became that. I said, would you want to be on the show? He said yes. And here we are. And that's the way. That's as easy as it can get if you want to do business with people. It's really that simple.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.